let's get started. It is my privilege to introduce Gisle Jentoft, SuperOffice.
Thank you, Tony. Good morning. It's a special morning today, right? It's SuperOffice Expander World. You saw in the program my title, or the title for my presentation was News in SuperOffice 8, Endless Possibilities. I reduced it to Endless Possibilities. And 5 minutes ago, I decided to make another change. And this is serious. This is, how many of you are Norwegian? Oh, most of you guys. SuperOffice is a Norwegian company. This is about, let's make Norway great again. Do you agree? The dollar is dropping. The oil price is dropping. Norway is in a difficult position. Software, automation, CRM, that's what's going to save Norway. And with the rest of you guys coming from outside of Norway, we can make a difference. Do you agree? Yeah. We have to have some fun here. I'm going to say a lot. I do that. Some people tell me that's not professional, but that's the way I am. So you have to take me as I am, right? Right, Jennifer? Yes, sir. That's right. You will hear more about that in the future at your home country. 1 year ago, I was luckily invited to talk to and with you guys. I think this is really a very important event for SuperOffice. We do it once a year. You are all really important to the past success, the current success, and the future success of SuperOffice. So talking to you guys is definitely very important. 1 year ago, as I said, we were facing some changes. Some of them are described up here on the screens. I think more or less all of you are noticing the effects. We have cloud is not sneaking in. It's brutally coming in. That leads to a totally new business model, and I will talk a little bit more about that. We have our great new product, which, well, maybe not brand new anymore, but we're bringing out new things all the time nowadays. We introduced SuperOffice CRM Online with version 8 in June 2015. It's the first time in the history of the company that we did online first. Quite a significant change, knowing that you have the majority of the customer base on the ground and not in the cloud. And, of course, to many of you who are part of filling up the App Store, you have also historically been very important players and partners in solving challenges for us. Our inabilities to deliver what customers want, making SuperOffice taller, deeper, and wider with your applications. And moving forward, that's called the App Store. Just raise your hand if you feel that the last year has been somewhat challenging, or using a very much used word these days, disruptive. Anyone? No one? Okay, I think there are a few of you. So the rest of my presentation is talking about what we see today. And you might say, well, that guy, he's not out talking to customers. Yes, I am. And lately I've been talking to quite a few customers. I've been meeting with quite a few of you guys as well. So I think I have a very good impression of what's going on out there. And I'm going to go through a couple of these observations that I see. And we're also going to hear what one of our customers is seeing out there. What I think is a correct statement is to say that subscription is the new normal. That was a challenge because we used to sell for a big chunk of money. That felt really good, but that's not the case anymore. So subscription is the only thing we offer new customers. And we all have to get used to it. When you were talking about existing customers, I think this is a very important slide, or message rather. We still have the majority of our customers on SuperOffice 7, a very few still on SuperOffice 6, but very few of those. And they are down there in the corner on the slide. And it's very important for me to emphasize that these customers have three options. They can stay on site or on premise and move to SuperOffice 8. Of course, they want to upgrade. They all do, but at their own pace. So they can stay with their on-site solution, or they can move to the cloud, or they can move to the on-site subscription model. So we have a very flexible offering here for the existing customers. And I know that it's tempting to try to, well, you want to go to the cloud, right? Because that's where the future is. Yes, I can agree with that. But the point is that the customers will take this in their own pace, and we have to be there, whether they want to be on premise or whether they want to be in the cloud now. I think down the line, if it's within a year or in 2 years or in 3 years, they will find their way to the cloud, but it's at their own pace. You look very serious now. Okay. This is what we see happening to the cloud offering. And to be honest, it moves faster than we expected. We see that 81% of our new customers choose the cloud version. 1 year ago, that was a little bit over 70%. So already back at last year's Expander World, the dominating part of new customers were already choosing SuperOffice in the cloud. The other number, 20%, is related to our existing customers looking at this situation. So 20% of them are moving to the cloud alternative. So why do they make that choice? And that's when of course, I thought, these guys, they will, he has his own motivations for the cloud and so on. So on Friday morning, I called a customer in Oslo and I brought my iPhone because he said, of course you're welcome. I will tell you why we made the decision. And by the way, this guy also says a lot of in between. But that's because he's a smart guy and he's thinking about what he's going to say. So let's hear what this company is called Data Response. This is a company delivering really high-tech solutions, embedded solutions. Internet of Things is at the heart of their business. So let's hear what he has to say behind, or what's their motivation for moving to the cloud. decided to move SuperOffice into the cloud.
Yes.
With and you have approximately 100 users, and you told me that you saw something interesting in both in version 8, but also taking the steps. What is the background or main motivation for moving on?
I think we like to be in the forefront of technology in data response. That's a kind of culture. And the cloud, we think, is the it's the place to be in the future. We believe in the cloud technology. We also think that, and obviously we see benefits from always being on the latest versions. You have a growing number of applications at the App Store, and also we bring down the load on our own IT resources, as also, of course, they can, and I think in some that's it's the right decision for us, actually. So
well, thank you to him, Birgir. Not very complicated. He believes, or they believe, they're operating in Scandinavia, in Germany, and also in Asia. They believe for their organization with about 100 users of SuperOffice that this is the correct choice. And you heard what he said. The App Store, he sees that there is a growing number. Well, I'll get back to that. He doesn't think it's business critical for them to spend time on maintaining IT solutions, but consuming them definitely is. So let's look a little bit more into the details, what we see out there in the market. The pricing of basically everything that you can buy in the direction of a software is available online. You have the pricing online, even for quite complex products. I think we have found a very simple, easy to understand pricing model. It's flexible in terms of we're not forcing anyone to buy the most expensive. If one user needs the most expensive, unlike some of the close competitors we have. And you have flexibility in billing. That's one of the factors that the market and the customers are enjoying compared to the good old days with a complicated price list of about 4 or 5 pages with names very few new customers understood. Another factor here is that everything is included. This is, of course, something that I don't need to tell you guys, but I can guarantee you that many of our customers don't necessarily understand this side of it. They see that, yes, I have SuperOffice from before, I have the maintenance agreement, so I have upgrades, but they have to handle the rest themselves. And that makes out for a hell of a big difference. But you know this, right? But I think we shouldn't underestimate the message here that these things, I call them things because that's not what I'm really familiar with, but they are very, very important factors of providing a user the capability of consuming a piece of software. So keep that in mind. News are coming faster. People, customers, users want to be able to get access to new versions with less hassle, and we're even telling them. And Hans Christian, who has worked a lot with what we call teaching and telling our customers about the news and making sure that they get on board and understand it, he has received some phone calls from some people who say, I don't want this pop-up. Oh, then you turn it off. But I can tell you that most customers, they want it. Because they want to be part of what's coming, they want to make sure their users are effective and utilizing the new capabilities. So either way, turn it on or turn it off. But news are coming faster to the cloud, every 3 weeks. I'm sure Guttorm will talk about that in a little bit. You heard data response, and Birgit, he said the growing number of apps in the App Store is one of the criteria for him or for them. The apps in the App Store are standardized, robust, secure. I know that there is a certain phase everyone has to go through, but this is all about making sure that what we deliver together to the customer is standardized, robust, and secure. And security is a topic that we have to talk more about, and Guttorm will also have that on his agenda today. The App Store is growing. Last year, we had 15 apps. As of yesterday, I think it was 30, right, Catherine? 31. And then you can say, what's taking us so long, you might say? Well, this is a team project. So I don't think anyone wants SuperOffice to fill it all up. We need to work together. We have different areas of expertise, and we want to work together with you guys to fill the App Store with more value-added applications that our customers need. And you also see that these apps are being used far more than a year ago. Last year, we only had 304 so-called app approvals, and now it's above 1,000. So it's going there, and again, we might feel that it should be moving a little bit faster, but it's growing. An important part of the total cloud offering for our customers. I'm not going to spend too much time on this, but if you look at these two, especially Gartner, that we're all familiar with, you see that comparing the on-premises traditional way of buying, consuming, administrating, and running software is way more expensive for companies than utilizing cloud solutions and software in the cloud. So that's actually a no-brainer. And that also is related to data responses. You know, they can use their IT resources on better things. What we also see out there is that there is something happening to customers coming in maybe through a free trial. And I promise you, not all of these companies are small. You might think that there are many small among them, but they are not all small. They have a different view of what we should provide them. The good old installation felt really good to go out there with some software, maybe even in the bag on a CD, or to download it from the internet, make sure that it found its way into the servers and the workstations and so on. That part is not very relevant anymore, especially in the cloud. So we need to be able to help and to work with our customers on a different level, and that's understanding their business. And I know that even the smallest customer with 2 users buying SuperOffice Service, for example, they make that decision to improve the way they do business. That's the only reason why they decide to buy SuperOffice. There are many other things that make more fun than to implement software. You know that. But understanding the business process of a customer is easy for me to say. We have thousands of customers in various sizes and industries and geographies and so on. But this is what we have to do more of. When the technical consulting becomes less relevant, this is the area where we need to work with our customers. And the only thing they look for, every time they get the invoice from you or from us, they look for, does this create business value for us? If the answer is yes, they smile and happily pay the invoice, and if they say no, we are on our way out. Oh, am I low on battery or the... That's the cloud. You need to be plugged in. That's very, very good point. Can I close it, Tony? See what happens? Do you think it went? Okay, let's move on. Do you think this calls for what I call an innovation in the way we deliver services? Yeah. So we have started looking at that. If we look at the knowledge in this room and everyone else in the partner community of SuperOffice, we have an enormous amount of knowledge about the processes in sales, marketing, and service. So we know a lot about the business potential. We have together delivered thousands and thousands of projects. And we see that a portion of the customers today, they start without the assistance that we so much want to deliver because we know they need it. So what we have come up with is what we call a set of pre-packaged services within sales, marketing, and service, and of course also the general CRM, that customers can say, for example, the sales process, do you think this one, or the third one here fits the way you work? And then we take one of them that fits the best, and we get started. That makes the journey shorter, quicker, and it's easier for us to get the customer started in the right way because the amount of services offered in the beginning is smaller. The alternative to many of these customers is not that they buy a full project, it's that they buy nothing and get started on the wrong foot. So that's why we do it. Over on the right side, you also see that we are thinking about offering payment even for services over time. That's an interesting topic. This is not ready, it's not launched. We have done some tests, and it seems to work out very well, and we want to, of course, involve you, our partners, in this moving forward. Does any of you have a question? Short comment to this? Good idea. Thank you. Then we can move on. At least one thinks this is a good idea. That's all I need. Self-service. I don't know how you are doing it, but when I'm sitting at home surfing around for products or services or travel, or I have problems with my phone or PC or whatever, I hardly ever call anyone. I hate calling people. It slows me down. I have to wait. So it's only the last resort that I turn to. And that's also what we see here, is that, of course, we are not going to replace every person by providing digital assistance. But we have to see what's going on. And if you look at the community of SuperOffice, the traffic has moved quite dramatically up from 4,000 monthly visitors, unique, to 16,000 today. And they also don't go there because they think it's fun. They go there to get help, they have questions. You guys, if you look at the developer community, you also help each other. And you get response to your questions far faster than in a traditional waiting in the phone line type of situation. We have a lot of content. This is, of course, available 24/7. A lot of customers, do you have 24/7 support? Yes, here. And it is, of course, our goal to be able to answer most of the questions and to help also customers get inspired, get started, and to get the news here online all the time, in combination with the professional services that we provide the customer. We want to take this a few steps further. How many of you have posted something on the forum of DevNet? Yeah, that's the majority of you. If this room had been users of SuperOffice, the situation would have been totally different. But we see that on the left side here, you see the blog, which is basically the sharing of knowledge around SuperOffice with the purpose of generating leads. There are 80,000 unique visitors on that site every month. And I think, Jennifer, that's worth an applause for you. Good job. And she's not filling it all by herself, so, but you knew that. If you look at the customer community, we're back to the 16,000. There is no reason why we shouldn't see the same number becoming active on the customer side. What we're going to do is you have some books in front of you, and on the cover you see something called Citizen Superland. Life is short, do stuff that matters. We plan to issue digital passports to all customers and users. It's not something that we will hand out, but they will find it on the customer community. There they will have their name. They will, of course, be able to say what they want and what they don't want. Opt-in is a critical word these days. Because I think they have something to tell us, and you have something to tell them. And this is about coming together and sharing, and that's to do stuff that matters. And that's what you do in the DevNet community. You share with others, and we get further as a team faster than if we work only one by one. That's also the concept here of inviting our customers and users into what we call Citizen Superland and the community. What if this was the caption bar of SuperOffice? And a little Citizen Superland icon appeared in the caption bar. And that worked as a center for various communication or notifications. How many have too few emails in their inbox? No one. I think email is becoming a problem, so I think we need to look also at other ways of communicating and serving messages where and when it's relevant. When you are sitting on the bus reading your paper or whatever, it might not be the best moment for talking to you about SuperOffice. But when you are in SuperOffice, that's definitely a much better moment. So here are a few examples. You have been upgraded. Read more about it. Your request, your ticket, for example, to support, is updated. Someone answered your forum post because you wrote something about sales that you wanted to share with someone. That's good. Then you don't have to go in and look all the time. You get notified. You have told us that you are interested in sales. There is a new article out. Maybe you should take a look at that. You can update your profile. You can manage your subscriptions. What do you want? Do you want more or less? chat. We will also hear more about that later today. And there has to be, I think, some kind of a gamification factor, because some people like getting points. Some people like winning the Kahoots. We have some fantastic contributors on DevNet, and I think they do that because, of course, they want to share, which is a fantastic quality, but they also like to be visible in a community as a contributing person. The final element that that I'm actually not allowed to talk about, because there's someone else who will talk more about it, but what we see out there, and I think you read about it every day, is that businesses will increasingly fuel their growth with automation. We know that, of course, the world we live in, it's a quite wide span between those who have nothing and our part of the world. But still, in our part of the world, we are talking about when can our cars drive us? That's what we are occupied with, things like that. When can the train and the trams drive themselves? They do that in Denmark already. So the people driving the Norwegian trains, they had this little sit-down action, and they said it's going to take 50 years until that happens in Norway. I think that's way too long. Guttorm will talk more about this, and I think this is a very important topic for all of us moving forward. Looking at what we do, we are, of course, in exactly the same situation as all our customers. We have to look at standardization and automation. Nothing is different for us. We have invested quite a lot in two examples here, what's called quote to cash, the entire process from sending a quote, placing the order, the invoice is going out, the payments are made, and so on. Why should anyone touch that process after the salesperson has said, place order? It's totally ridiculous. So we have automated almost the whole process. And it takes software to automate it. We have also delivered from R&D an automated migration to online, which is not totally unassisted because professional guidance by consultants is highly recommended, but it's shortening the time spent on moving the parts, which makes perfect sense. So, you still look extremely serious. This journey is disruptive. 2010, we went into the cloud with the first product, or service is the right word. Very small. Many people said, no, this is too small. Can't do that. I'm really, really glad we did. But this journey that we are taking now, and especially during the last year, and in the couple of years to come, is definitely challenging or disruptive. And that's when I now turn to the state of business. I have to admit it's a little bit of sweet and it's a little bit of sour. And I'm now going to attempt to explain why certain parts of the financial figures are lower and have to be lower. And Une told me yesterday, good luck. Revenue's down, profits down, but it's really, really good. Okay, can you say that again, please? Let's start with some sweets. The online recurring revenue base is growing faster than we have ever seen anything in SuperOffice grow before. It's 51% up this year. And it's fueled by mainly new customers, but also some people or customers moving. If you look at the number of new subscription customers, buy is not available anymore, you see that it's an increase, not of 51%, but 10% up. 530 new customers versus 468 in total last year. It's purely organic, which is, I think, is quite good. So now I'm going to start moving over to the partly sweet, partly sour part. This is the way SuperOffice ticked before, and also selling partners basically ticked. We sold the software, we emptied the pockets of the customer. They had to transfer a large sum of money to us, which we enjoyed, and then we harvested the maintenance, right? That's the model. That's not how it looks now. It looks more like this. Provided, of course, that you don't change the implementation you start with. Everything else the same. It's the same steady subscription amount per month or per year. This is in a 6-year perspective. If you take that into a different picture like this, you see that we start low and we continue for about 2.5 with lower revenues than before. And then there is a change. But you do remember what's included in this blue line, right? Here it's only software and updates. Here it's software, updates, hosting, servers, IT maintenance, backups, security, all the infrastructure around the App Store and integration platform, it's in there. So you get a lot. And of course the blue line also has a cost side to SuperOffice. You get it? That is why what we call new license revenues are lower than before. You see that? New license revenues, 76% of what we had a year ago. We lost the buy. Actually, we didn't lose it because we took it away, because we wanted to be future-proof. The recurring revenues, however, are growing 7%. Is almost 200 million after 9 months. The services revenues of SuperOffice are going down. Is it because technical consulting is going away and we haven't sort of been innovating enough to get ready for the future? Probably, that's part of the answer. And total revenues are 1% higher than last year. And then you see the profits. 83% of the same. This is earnings before interest and tax and depreciation. But it's still a very healthy number. And I think it's very important for SuperOffice to be future-proof. We have been listed on the stock exchange. We're not anymore. We're private. We didn't then bet on getting money from the market, so we're building the business as we always have done. So it is, of course, for us very important to be in good financial shape to be ready for the future. But then you know where we are. And the last part of my presentation before the Kahoot, there will be a Kahoot, of course, I would especially like to say thanks to SuperOffice R&D. This journey has been very challenging. And I'm really impressed by the way how they have taken this step by step, because we could not forget about that we have existing customers who rely on Windows versions and everything related to that on-premise, and at the same time taking SuperOffice into the cloud, and what we have now, I'm really, really proud of. So thank you, guys. And of course, I know that everyone else in SuperOffice, the partners and the ISV partner, both of you selling and developing products around SuperOffice, this is equally difficult for you, so I would like to also say thank you to you. This is a team project. And finally, of course, thanks to the customers, but they are basically harvesting all the goods coming out of it. So, you see, let's make Norway great again, or endless possibilities, I don't know. I think at least that I truly believe that the future has an enormous amount of opportunities, far more than I've ever seen before. I've also spent a couple of years in SuperOffice. So I'm really optimistic, but we are depending on you guys, and we want to work with you, so I hope you also share my positive view on the future. So then, Tony, we're going to have a little Kahoot. Is that right? And then I'm supposed to do like this, and I have to look over here. Oh, I love that music. When we have 50 players, I will start. Okay, here we go. Five questions. What percentage of new customers choose online? Fantastic. The message got through. Okay, next question. I know that guy. He can't win, by the way. How many app approvals do we have for App Store apps? Pretty good. Det blir for lett. I also think I know who that is. He can win, by the way. Or how many unique visitors visit the SuperOffice blog per month? They are all customers or potential customers, by the way. Okay. Somewhat diverse here. Okay. I don't know who that is. What's the year-to-date growth in the CRM Online recurring revenue base? So many of you didn't get that? You probably didn't believe it. Okay, say what now? Okay, there is one more question. Last one. What do you think about my presentation? Oh, thank you. So who's, yes, wow! Who is Donald? Well, congratulations. We'll get back to the award. And you have the job to, fix the relationship to Russia. That one I think you can fix.